Good morning, good day, hello, hello, and hello, hi, welcome everyone. Saturday, nice, weekend, woohoo, and a new game. Good morning, geeks. It is 6, what are you doing up? Hi, and hi Phoenixer, blast off exactly, let's blast this thing off. Yeah, we're starting a new game today. Wow, Kerbal Space Program. I have to admit I'm a little bit nervous about this because I have no idea about physics. So this should be fun. This should be very fun. Looking forward to this one. Massively. Yep. Okay, so I would say it doesn't get any better. So, without further ado, let's just start. Shall we? Yes, let's do that. There we are. Everything should work. Everything works. Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. I can see everything. How's the sound? Oh, Phoenixer. Are we doing this? Okay, we're doing this. I'm not going to say a word. Nope. Everything is perfectly fine. It is. Okay. Alright, so this is it. It looks interesting. I didn't do anything for now other to make sure that it runs. And that's it. That's as far as I went with this. So bear with me. You wake up every morning at 5:30. Wow. Interesting. Well, in that case, how nice of you to be here. And let's keep you company while you're doing, I don't know, breakfast? Most likely? Have a coffee or a tea? Beverage? Strap in for some fun hours? Hopefully. Well, at least I will, most likely. And I think, given that I have no clue about anything, that we should start with the training. I have to visit the city soon. To get that started. Nice. Looking forward to more of them. Morning, Mr. War Eagle. Hello, hello. And yes, I will hydrate. I have a big mug of coffee here, a half-liter thermo, and a liter bottle of something else to drink, and lots of sweets, so the nerves should be fine. Okay. Hot coffee. I like hot coffee. Training first, so we have I have a base idea of what's going on here. Let's do this. Getting started and basic construction. This tutorial, presented by famous rocket scientist Valentina Kerman himself, covers the basics of rocket constructions in the vehicle assembly building. He is waiting for you down there and is always in high demand. Don't dally. Thanks, Phoenixer. Hey, why do we shoot geeks to the moon? Just saying. Alright, welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Nice to meet ya. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the moon, you're going to need to build yourself a ship. So far I agree. It should be pretty easy, even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. Oh, you're one of those. Okay. Astronaut complex. Flagpole. This is important. Launchpad, okay. Runway, makes sense. Spaceplane hangar, Tracking station, okay. Vehicle assembly building. What? Where's the difference? Oh, okay. Alright. Next. In this tutorial, I will first show you around the Kerbal Space Center. Then you take to Vehicle Assembly Building, where you'll learn to construct a simple ship. We'll cover adding and moving parts, what the parts do, how to change the performance settings of the parts which have that option, and how to control staging. At the end of the tutorial, you will have a craft fit for a quick hop from the launch pad. At each step, I will lock out all controls other than the ones that you need for that step. If you still manage to mess up, give me some time to become as skilled as I am now, you can press the back button to go back and fix things. It won't light up unless you mess up. So the back button will be the button that will lit up the most, or light up the most. I can very much promise you that. We are now at the Kerbal Space Center. I'll give you a quick rundown on how to get around. By the way, is everything working okay for you? Sound is okay, pictures are okay, everything big enough so you see enough? Let me know if there is anything that I should change. The Kerbal Space Center for sure. Yeah, okay. What? The Kerbal Space Center, KSC for short, is home to the pinnacle of Kerbal's endeavor and achievements for space exploration. Using the facilities you can see here, you will be able to manage your space program, create rockets and planes, track your Kerbal explorers as they roam the solar system, find exciting new users for explosive substances? Alright. And in case of emergency, hire more Kerbals. To find out about each of the facilities, you can hover your mouse over them. All the facilities buttons, they show up when the cursor is outside of the window. If you need to repair a structure or upgrade them in career, you can do this by right-clicking them. Take some time to hover the mouse over the buildings and see what they each are, and when you're ready to enter the vehicle assembly building. Okay. Living and Recreation Space Astronaut Complex. Alright, Phoenix, don't buy everything, because we need to go grocery shopping after the stream. So leave a little bit for us, okay? Thank you. And see you later. Thanks for stopping by though. And the dead jokes. There will be more, I assume. We'll see. Astronaut Complex. Living and Recreation. So this is where the fun is. Flagpole, we had already. Launchpad. Vessels build and launch. Runway, like at the airport. Hangar, like at the airport. Tracking station, like the towers. And the vehicle assembly building. The web is where spacecraft are designed and built before being moved over to the launchpad for flight. Okay. Very good. I can click buttons. Okay, I need to move the emotes a little bit from what it looks like. Like there. That should be fine. Struktur schmeidig. Ah, yay! Nice. And this is going to be fun today. Visiting different store, but I'll try to leave something there. Okay, perfect. These mushrooms and bell peppers, but I'm not planning to cook something, which is crime against humanity. Mushrooms and bell peppers are a crime against humanity? I have questions. Okay, what do we have here? Inside the VAB, inside the BUP. Very good. What you see in the middle of the screen is the construction area. This is where the parts are placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen is the parts toolbox. This is here. It will show you the parts you have available in each of the different categories once there are any to pick, that is. Okay, thermal, electrical, communication, oh boy. Untitled spacecraft. Nope. Aha. There we go. Perfect. The last one before you go. What do astronomers do when they finish calculating the time from sunup to sunup to sunup? From sunup to sundun. I hate to say this, but I pretty much agree with Mr. War Eagle. Go shopping. Oh, this is going to be a great day. I like it already. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. If you want your craft to be controllable, you need a command module, and it's best to make it the first part you place. This part is will either contain some plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. As we are just starting, there's only one choice. Go ahead and pick the command module from the Pods tab. Ground thermal plane, science cargo, utility. Where is the Pods tab? There. Too easy. After at least one part is placed, you can look around with the following controls. Orbit the camera, arrow keys. Or drag mouse right and down. Move the camera up and down. Okay. This is that. And zoom the camera. Shift. Alright. I don't hate agreeing with you. I just hate to say that someone should leave. That's why. I don't hate agreeing with you. If you'd like your pilot to be able to make more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground or water on Kerbal. Parachutes are a simple way to make sure that happens. They can be found in the Utility tab. Change tabs by clicking their icons on the left of the part list window. What? Utility, there. When you're choosing parts, you can view the details of available parts by hovering over them in the toolbox. When the info is visible, most parts have an additional information window, which can be opened with a right click. Note that the parachute states the effective diameter in each state, and what the Mexican safe speed for development is. What the maximum safe speed for deployment is. Go ahead and select the MK16 parachute by left-clicking on it. Did it. Then move it to the top of the command pod so that the green sphere at the bottom of the parachute lines up with the green, and then attach. Okay, did that. Right? Some parts, like our parachute here, have configurable options. To see these, we need to right-click on the parachute we just attached to the pod. Do that now and you will see the available parameters. Min, pressure, altitude. Okay. On the parachute you will see that we can adjust our altitude and the atmospheric pressure at which to open. That setting can be quite useful on distant walls. So now let's check that the opening height on the chute is at least 1,000 meters. It is. Because safety is the Kerbal way after all. For the minimum pressure slider, move it a bit to the right to 0.2. It's 0.2. Alright. This setting prevents the chute from activating until the atmospheric pressure is above the configured value. Kerbal 0.2 is about 9 kilometers in altitude, so even if you stage early and arm the parachute, it will wait until then to activate. You can hide these options by right-clicking on the background scene or picking another part when there's one available. When you're happy with that, we can proceed. Yes, we can proceed. I did that. Next up, we are going to need something to make us go. Click on the Engines tab on the left to show the available engines and solid rocket motors. Engines. There we go. Grab one and connect it to the bottom of the pod. You may need to zoom or move the camera to be able to do so. Okay. Or we can do just this. We're building this from the top. Just dawned to me. Okay. That's how you build. Next. Oops, I forgot you're just starting out. Yes, very much so. You are not a famous rocket scientist, by no means. And to make that craft survivable, as it stands now, you'd have to be better at rocket science than me. Impossible. Give me another decade. The problem with that craft is that this solid rocket is too powerful for the payload. A single small pod and shoot. It will either burn up on ascent from going too fast or burn up coming back down. Even if you survive that, the craft's mass will cause it to fail too fast for the parachute to operate properly and you'd hit the surface before it could stop you. Nice. Okay, I promise to teach you how to change that to make it work in a later tutorial, but for now let's continue. Well, at least this way I get to tell you about removing parts. Pick up the back thumper. Excuse me, what now? Back thumper. And either drop it back to the toolbox bar or press delete. Okay, when I hit delete, nothing happens. Okay, that's fine. Once the capsule is the main part of the rocket. Yeah, but I didn't know that we were building it from the top up, not from the top down, and not from the bottom up. But I'll go with this, not a problem. I'll do whatever Mr. Werner von Kerman tells me. At least I think. Instead, let's add the solid motor that's a better match for a ship of this size. At the start of your career, you will have what I consider rubbish parts, literally. The motor here looks like, and may well be, a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little craft moving skyward, and quickly as you progress, you will be able to unlock more engines and other parts. For now though, let's pick the RT5 Flea and connect it to the bottom of the pod. Okay. RT5 Flea. There are so many letters. And it costs 200. Where can I see how much money I have? Oh, here. Ooh. Okay. Next. Nice work, thank you. You've built the simplest survivable craft possible. Hey. We could go launch this right now, but it might be safer to explain one other thing first. And the bottom right, here, you will see the staging stack. It's the box with the number 0. There. And icons for the parachute and engine in it. There. This stack shows us which part will be activated as we stage our rocket. What this shows is that when we activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motor at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and chute into 2 stages. If you mouse over the 0 stage, you will see a little plus and minus. Yes, I do. Appear on the left side of the box. Click the plus button and add a new stage. Okay. If you add too many, click the minus button and the extra ones will remove them. Make sure you have precisely 2 stages. 0 and 1. 2 stages. Aha, okay, so this is the rocket cost. Okay. Hi, Crazy. Yes. Yes. After skipping physics, we are learning how to make a rocket. Mm-hmm. What could possibly go wrong, right? Or a toaster. Okay, so we have 2 stages here, 1 and 0. Excellent. It's important to know that the stages activate from the highest number and then count down. So your first stage will be number 1, the engine, and your second one will be stage 0, the chute. Ha! Now drag the engine icon from stage 0 down to stage 1 to give your pilot some comfort. I already did that before he told me to. Haha! Learning. That's it. We now have relatively safe craft that is ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all over from scratch. At the top of the screen you will see the name for your craft. Yes. Untitled spacecraft. No, doesn't seem too majestic. So why don't you change that to be something more your style? And you can add a description if you like. Well, do we need a description? I mean, we already... I like this name because it very much resembles what will happen. So... Okay, description done. Thanks. When you use the load screens later, these names and descriptions help you to grab the right vessel. When you're happy with the name, click on the save icon on the upper right. Save. I did. Save. Maybe we should make it a little bit more. A little bit more descriptive. Vessel 1. Okay. I have faith in you. Well, I think you're the only one. Thank you, geeks. Much appreciated. Okay, interestingly enough, I clicked save. As you can see, I clicked... No, you can't see it. Interesting. Well, let's wait a second. Let's put it here. Awesome. And now... you can see that I click the save button. Yeah, up there. But I can't click next, so what did I do wrong? Ah. Okay. We can do that. Excellent work. Thank you, Mr. War Eagle. Thank you. Excellent work. Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques if I've shown you. And when you're ready to continue, press the red button on the upper right to exit. That one. Back to the training menu. Try the flight basic tutorial to learn how to fly this little craft, and then the intermediate construction tutorial can teach you more about the editor. Note, any vessel you create here will be lost when you exit. This is just for playing around. Okay. Done. Okay, so here are all the parts. Sorting system, actions, build, actions, crew, cargo, switch editor. Aha, okay. We can use these or we can use the mouse for that. Got it. Alright. Okay. So, I think next step. Basic flight. I thought that the tutorials may go over from one to the other. But we can click them through. Oh boy. Okay. And there's just a little nipple there. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center launch facility. I'm Valentina Kerman, and I will teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. I trust you've already checked the base construction tutorial, yes? If not, I recommend you do so before going through this one. Well, we already did. Look at her! Yeah. She's so excited. Oh boy. I'm sorry, Valentina. I'm sorry in advance. I'm sure you're a nice one. Nice to know ya. For now. Today we will do a run through all the important controls for your spacecraft. Our little hopper. That's called hopper, not nipple. Okay. From your basic construction lesson with Werner may not have all of them, but we will do a full run through once and see how it flies. If you're ready to go, press next. Ah, there are so many things here. Flying a spacecraft... Yes? Flying a spacecraft is all about going in control... Jeez, sorry about that. It's all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, yaw, and roll of the ship. Let's look at those first. All the other controls will be locked until they're needed or this tutorial is closed. Okay. Pitch, yaw, and roll are the three directions you will rotate your craft. To help you visualize these, we've taken a holiday snap of the hopper below. I need to take a picture of those, because I for sure will not remember them. Perfect. Next up, we'll see how we rotate in these directions. You control your ship's rotation using these controls. Pitch up, pitch down. S and W, okay. Jaw left, jaw right. A and D, and Q and E for roll left and roll right. By controlling pitch, jaw and roll together, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. Try it now and notice the indicator on the lower left side. There. As you move as you provide control input. Throttle plus pitch, jaw and roll are the main controls you'll need to master for a successful crash-free flight. We'll skip over the throttle control for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Don't worry, I'll explain it in another time. When it's of use, remember that all of these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger and heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggishly to the controls than a little small one. It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. Next, let's look at the rest of the flight controls. Oh, okay. In flight, all the planning you put into the staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachutes, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages with a spacebar. How fitting. Notice the stage indicator on the lower left corner. Here. It shows the currently active stage. Since we haven't launched yet, it's showing the first stage as active. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. Yes. One more thing on staging. If the staging setup is causing strife or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly, pun intended. No need to go back to the assembly facility. And after this, I am a doctor in physics and rocket science. An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it is going. That's why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's altitude, where it is pointing, and the velocity vector where it is going. These aren't always the same directions. As your skills improve, you should pick up on these. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called navball. You become Dr. Valentina Kerman after this, huh? Oh boy. Here you see the ship's nose in relations to the horizon. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as the line between blue sky and brown ground, as well as its heading, compass bearing, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things, like your currently velocity vector. And we'll have a... yes. Let's have a look at that later. In the top center part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmosphere gauges. The altimeter will show the distance of the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing. When launching, it's considered best to keep the gauge pointing up. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and controlled surfaces will be. Why do they give all the information in the beginning? Because I'm fairly certain when I'm done reading, I have forgotten most of it already again. things in the mirror are closer than what they appear. Yes. One last thing before we give this rocket the green light. In the staging stack you can see the indicator for your parachute. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that, but the background will also change color to indicate when it is safe to stage the parachute and the foreground. The parachute bit of the icon itself. The parachute bit of the icon itself will change color depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left three show safety. These ones. Safe, risky, unsafe. To deploy, the chute is unstaged white on the left three. The right three show state after staging. Armed, deployed, and cut shredded. When you are familiar with the chute icon's color, we can move on. Okay, this is the one that we want. A lot of this will be intuitive once you did some launches. Most likely, it is like reading everything about shooting in RDR2. I bet you are not thinking about the docs anymore. What docs? What do you mean reading about shooting? What? Alright, next. So, we want these. This is a good one. Well, armed, and that one. Everything else is not good. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls and you'll be clear for launch. At any time you may press escape to pause the game. In the pause menu you can restart the flight or end this tutorial, choose end scenario, and return to the main menu. For now, get yourself prepared to hit space when ready to launch. Don't forget our hopper has only a solid rocket motor, so there's no throttle control. That's why we didn't review the throttle here. Make sure to fly in a nice arc and enjoy the flight. Alright. Ready? Yeah, I hope Valentina has a sister. Okay, Valentina, I apologize in advance because you will be... Yeah, you will be. So, and up you go. You can try practicing some of the controls we just discussed, like pitch, jaw, and roll. Okay. This is the roll. This is the jaw. Whoa. Okay, stop that. Stop that. And this is the pitch. Look at Valentina. She's having fun. Okay, how do I stop this? Stop this! Calm down. Calm back down. Valentina has a lot of fun, right? I'd say so. Your solid motor has burned out. Now you're passing apoapsis, the highest point of your flight, and your speed is low enough that it's safe to stage again and deploy the parachute. Do so now before you speed up again and hit the surface. That is fast. Well, fast-ish. Well, I'm sorry, Valentina. Ah, shucks. Something went terribly wrong here. You might want to try to stay alive when on an actual mission, you know? Don't feel bad. I'll send someone to clean that up and you can try again. Make sure you fly high enough to be going slow enough for a parachute deployment, and make sure you remember to stage it to arm it. Okay. Flight results. Liftoff. Hopper crashed into Kerbal. Valentina Kerman was killed. MK parachute collided into surface. Collided into the surface. Everything collided into the surface. Total mission time 1 minute and 32. Well, we did make it off of Earth. Well, off Kerbal. Okay. Okay, so how... Action set. How do I get back again and start? Oop. I want to start again. Revert flight? Revert to launch. Okay, so we start all over again. Okay, we got that. We have that. Okay, my question is... This is loading the autosave from the vehicle being put into launchpad. Okay. Okay, so... Let's... Wait a second. Wait a second. This will have to leave for now. Okay. So the stages here. I think I just forgot. Do I have to arm them manually? Do I have to activate them manually? Yes, I do, right? Or do they... I have to do this manually. Okay, I need a smaller monitor for this one. We have your ultimate, this one, recover vessel, space center, okay, altimeter, atmosphere. Shows how quickly your altitude is going. The... Okay, solid fuel. Nice. Now this is... Now this is going this way. Okay. The parachute says, oh no, better not. Okay, and now? Oh, no, wait. I want the rocket to go... Wait. Stop that. You are... Why is this toggling so much? Okay. Level yourself out. Okay. Alright. We are going down. Alright. Going down, going down. Turn SAS. Hi CMD. What is SAS? When can I... No! Okay. Okay. Yes, we have... Okay. I have the picture right here. By controlling, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. Yeah, we saw how wonderfully controlled that was. Well, she better has a lot. Like a lot. Indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed, or judge effective wings and controls surfaces will be. Alright. So, we're going there, having a little twist and a little turn. No, just a little bit. Solid motor has burned out. You are passing... do so now before they speed up again. Okay, it is. You see the green... the green outline? So it should be fine. Right? It should be fine now. Okay. How? I'm in the tutorial and already it's screwing up. This is going to be fun. Yes, I think I activated the next stage. Yes. SRF helps rotating the rocket and is next to your surface meter. That one. Can't do anything with that yet. Okay. Controlling, yes. Rest of the flight controls. G-force, throttle. You don't have to do that now because it's the small one. Launch. You can activate each stage with a spacebar. Parachute 2. Okay. Alright. So, we have that now. And it's burning and burning and burning. Toggling! And now we sit back and enjoy the descent. Okay. Toggling! More toggling. Stop the toggle. According to replay, the last stage, when launching parachute was activated on impact. That might be too late. I think you might be onto something there. So when he say, and now we sit back and enjoy the descent, that should mean that Valentina, for once today, is going to survive, right? Right? Oh, maybe. I think so. I hope so. Okay, going still down. Easy. Easy. And yay! We landed! Thanks, CMDR. Ja, sieht schon besser aus. Recht hast du. Thank you! We did it! Perfect! Awesome! I am very happy. There you go. But that... Now everybody can see better, right? Yeah. Valentina can now have happy kids. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but at least she can see the next mission. How that will turn out, I have no idea, but at least she will have the next mission. Yeah, okay, Crazy, thank you. Thanks for the lurk. Alright. Well done. Yes. After 3 crashes, but well done. Okay, you survived your first quick flight. When you're landed or splashed on Kerbin and not in training, you can point the mouse just above the altimeter and click the recover button on the panel that slides down to ask to be picked up. I've also unlocked the... Wait a second. And not in training, okay. Above the altimeter and click the recover button. Okay, we will find that. I've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can click the EVA, extravehicular activity button, that will pop up when you mouse over the portrait of the Kerbal you want to take for a walk there. You can do it just for fun or to collect a surface sample. Okay. This concludes today's lesson. To exit training, you press escape, and to access the pause menu, choose end scenario to return to the main menu. I hope to see you again to learn more suborbital flight, perhaps. Bye. There will be a green button. Okay. Alright. Well, that went interestingly. Wouldn't you say? I would say. Let's do this once more, just to be on the safe side, okay? Lots of boom and success. I'm pleased. Yeah. Great. I'm happy that you're pleased. Also, it's good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter. Okay. Let's try this. Indicates how deep the ship is in place atmosphere. Let's try this again. Once more. So it feels a little bit more normal. Okay, that's that. That's that. Okay, can I point the nose down? Yes, I can. No, not that way. Valentina is having the time of her life there. Millions of Kerbals. Millions? Like millions? Jeez. No pressure then. Alright. There we go. It's their first rocket launch. Sure, they are watching. It's their fourth one, and no, their fifth one, and they died 3 times before that. Are you still sure that they are watching? Right action group. Brakes action group. Abort? Oh, abort is good. I like abort. 3 times? Oh, hell no? Messages. Uh-huh. Okay. Cool. We've done that. Valentina is happy? Perfect. After the rocket hits the ground, move your mouse to in the top center of the screen. There's a green recovery button. Oh, that one. Okay. Recover vessel. I see. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes. We are going to crash so many of them. So many rockets and so many Valentinas. I'm sorry for that. But this is how we learn, right? Well, this is how I learn. And you will just have to endure it with me. This story, presented by famous rocket scientist Werner von Kerbal himself, covers how to design a craft that can escape Kerbal's atmosphere and return safely. Alright. Sure, that's the way KSP is played. Awesome, so we're in for a ride then. Fantastic! Looking forward to it. Hello again. Glad you could come back. Valentina is not so happy, but sure, happy to be back. To get started, go ahead and enter the VAB, and I'll give you the overview of what we are building today. What are we building today? Here we are again. Now to business. If you remember, in our last construction tutorial we covered how to build a simple hopper and some of the basics of the construction area. In this tutorial we'll expand your knowledge of some of the more useful features of in the VAB, and we'll build a more complex craft that will be able to get us out of the atmosphere. Are you sure you want to do that? To build our new design, let's start with the craft we built in the basic construction tutorial, though this one is just called Hopper. This will save us a little bit of time, and the accounting department is always happy when we save time. Click on the Open button in the top right corner and load the hopper, then remove its RT4 flea motor. If you mess up, you can recreate the craft from the part list by placing a pod first, then a parachute on top of it. Note that throughout this tutorial I will leave all parts you need available to be placed. If you delete the craft file somehow, close the load dialog and open it up again in the craft menu. Why would I delete a file? Okay, loading the hopper. There we go. And remove the motor. Okay, next. Unlike last time, we won't be bringing the whole vessel back, so we can change our parachute stats from what we used before. Right-click on the parachute and verify that its deployment altitude is set to 1000 meters as last time, but also set the minimum pressure slider all the way to the right. 075 all the way. There we go. That corresponds to an altitude on Kerbal of about 2 kilometers and means a much shorter time hanging around during descent. I like that hanging around part. First off, let's change the name of our craft and the description if you want, so that we still have our trash cans, special for later on. We have our trash can special for later on, okay. Simply change the name to something other than Hopper and we can proceed. Okay. Next. Great. For this craft we are going to give the ship some additional purpose by attaching a ship experiment, a science experiment. We can run these experiments during our travels and get valuable science data for Kerbal kind. There are a number of science experiments to be performed, but at the moment we only have the mystery goo containment unit available. Switch to the Science tab to look at it. This is one of the most basic scientific experiments Kerbal scientists have devised, and one of the first things that they want to try and understand better. I mean, they don't even know what color the goo is. This goes there, and then Science. Mystery goo containment unit. Okay. Where are we oh, we can attach that anywhere. Anywhere. Okay, well, let's do that. There. Looking good. No? Some additional purpose. Yes. Switch to the side and tap. Look at it. This is one of the When you pick up the part, you will see that it's designed to attach to the sides of other parts. Yes, this is Geek's Breakfast. Exactly. Or Crazies. I mean, the kids have woken up, so maybe it's Crazies. When you pick up the part, you will see that it's designed to attach to the sides of other parts, for example, radially. If we attach only one of these, then during our flightcraft it might be unbalanced. Okay. One way to solve this is to add an extra goo container on the opposite side of the rocket so they balance. Luckily, we have a symmetry tool to help here. These buttons control symmetry, highlighted. An angle snap and can be found in the lower left of the screen. There. No. Yes. Press the symmetry button, or press X, there we go, to cycle around the available symmetry modes. Set this... there we go. Okay. Set this to ×2 and then pick up and place a mystery goo container unit. It was already set to 2. On the side of the pod near the top. So... there? That's near the top, right? Yeah, there. You will notice that a second one has been placed opposite of the first one by the symmetry tool. If you have already placed a lone canister, pick it up, make sure symmetry is set correctly, and place it again, so that it's duplicates on the other side. Remember to place the canister near the nose of the pod. That's the parachute. So I would say there. Looking great. Next. If we add too many more parts here, the craft we are making will be too heavy to survive re-entry safely, and too heavy to be slowed by our parachute, leading to sudden impact syndrome. Valentina can tell a story about that one. So we will need to add a decoupler below the pod. Decouplers can be found in the coupling tab, and will let us split the craft when we no longer need the lower parts. We won't be able to recover the discarded parts, but at least our craft and our Kerbal will survive re-entry and landing. Decouplers can be used in many ways, but for now, let's just add one of these to the bottom of the pod. Go to the coupling tab and grab a TD12 and place it. TD12. It's equipped with a hopefully small explosive charge that will sever the structural linkage between itself and wherever it's connected to be painted on its sides in the arrows indicating which side will attach. Okay. Note that stacked decouplers have arrows. The arrows show which side is the side that decouples. Make sure your decoupler's arrow is pointing up towards the pot. It will be by default. Yes, you can see that there. Ta-da! Well done! You'll recall, I hope, that in the previous tutorial we had to adjust the staging stack when we added the engine to our earlier rocket. When you add a decoupler, the extra stage is automatically added to the stack so that any new parts below the decoupler won't be staged at the same time as those above. You can of course still move these all around, but hopefully this will save you some time as you go. If you ever want to return to this default staging setup, click the reset button at the bottom of the stage stack. Okay. But we want that, because this will fall off in stages and we don't want the stages to interfere. This time we are going to use a liquid propellant rocket engine. Unlike solid rocket motors, these engines do not carry their own propellants with them, so we need to add some fuel tanks. Go to the fuel tanks tab. We are still using these early parts, there's only FLT 100s available. This is another area, like engines, where advancements brings bigger and better parts. I need to drink. That means you too, chat. Big ol' sip. Perfect. We are going to need 5 of these tanks to get us to space. Before you grab 5 tanks from the part toolbox though, let me give you another tip, because efficiency is my middle name. It goes right after von. Okay, Werner von Efficiency Kerman. Got it. Once you place the first tank on the rocket, you can duplicate that by holding the left Alt key and clicking on the tank. You can do this on the bottom tank a few times and quickly get 5 of these attached without having to go back to the toolbox. Okay. Engines. Fuel tanks. There we go. Okay, so we are 1, 2. 5. All right. Got it. Good. Switch over to the Engines tab now. The swivel engine you see here is obviously different from the flea we used before. Yes, I can see that. This is a liquid engine and it needs and burns both liquid and fuel and oxidizer. Both liquid fuel and oxidizer. Funnily enough, that's what we just added to the rocket. Attach the LVT-45 swivel to the bottom of the rocket stack now, and keep an eye out on the staging stacks to see how it changes. Aha, alright. Good. Switch over to the Engines tab now. Okay, we did that, and we see here a second stage. Automatically attached itself. A third stage, I should say. We are almost there, and you're doing fine. Maybe not as speedily as someone of my caliber though. Oh, shut up. The last thing we are going to need to do is to give this rocket a little better stability, so it keeps going the way that we want it to go. We will achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. Fins can be found in the Aerodynamics tab. Set the symmetry mode to 4 times. So we will place them on both axes. Also turn on the angle snap. 4 times. Okay, turning that on. Alright. You can turn on angle snap by clicking the button next to the symmetry icon or by pressing C. Well, I like to click it. Drop a basic fin on the last rocket tank. You will see the other 3 symmetrically counterparts will be placed as well. Okay, aerodynamics. Where might you be there? Basic fin. Okay. Where do we put it? Near the bottom of the rocket. I should say here then. Right? Looks good. Now this looks almost like a rocket, huh? Thank you! Thank you! And thank you! Woohoo! Alright. Ready to rock. Excellent. We now got a rocket that will let us reach for the stars. Admittedly, I did say reach for. And this is a basic rocket which can't achieve orbit, but on the bright side that means re-entry will also be basic. You've done a great job in building a basic hopper and a sub-orbit capable rocket. Hopefully you've learned a few things about how to build a craft and how to use some of the shortcuts that are in here. Feel free to hang around a bit and try your hand at other things too, or perhaps you could look at the next lesson on suborbital flight, where we will see just how well this rocket performs, or head over to the science tutorial to learn how to advance our career and unlock more parts. If you could show yourself out of the construction facility with the red button on the top, right when you're done experimenting, that would be great. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay. Excuse me? Oh boy. Right. Okay. So, we have our rocket. Save and continue. Suborbital flight. Learn how to escape Kerbin's atmosphere and return safely. In this tutorial, flight instructor Jean Kerman will take you through the essential flight controls and instruments required to launch a simple rocket to an almost respectable altitude, and how to get back in one piece. Okay. Is it Valentina again? Oh no. Jebediah. Ah. Well then. Hello again. Glad you couldn't make it back. Today we will take an exciting step, getting our first Kerbal into space. Yeah, with a capital S. Hopefully you remember the controls we discussed in the basic flight tutorial, but don't forget that you can always press escape and click the view key bindings button for a reminder. If you are ready, let's get started. Okay. Your mission to... Nah, he just came back. I'm not going to shoot him to the moon today. No. I'm still learning. Give me a second. Your mission today is to make a short suborbital, less than orbital flight out over the water to the east. It's a nice arcing path that ensures a gentle, survivable re-entry. Straight up, then straight down is not so good for survival. Yeah, we learned that the hard time. Well, Valentina did learn that the hard time. I've set up the pink target indicator on the nav ball as aim point, but do note that this is not the case for normal missions. The target marker is normally used for other things and does not help with ascents. Starting with the nose pointing straight on the launch pad or 90 degrees elevation from the eastern horizon. You're going to make this difficult on purpose, aren't you? Tilt east 80 degrees elevation on the nav ball by 150 meters per second. Tilt east to 70 degrees on the nav ball by 400 meters per second. After burnout, coast up into space and have a look around. Prepare for re-entry. Lastly, re-enter and land safely. Excusez-moi? Wait. Oh, 90 degrees elevation from the eastern horizon. Okay. Tilt east after 50. Tilt to 80 degrees. Oh boy. And we are going to throttle. Of course we are. Unlike the hopper in our first lesson, this new craft has liquid fuel engines. This means we can use the throttle to set out the output power of the ship's engines. Throttle is controlled by the following keys. Throttle up, throttle down, throttle max, throttle cutoff. Try this out now. Okay, throttle is going this. Okay. Oh, this is 100%. Okay, and this is down. And with this, throttle go up and down. Okay. Now we're having the SAS. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System, although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to it as a sickness avoidance scheme. Whatever it stands for, what it does is to try to stop the ship from spinning around, using the computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensator technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, it will keep the ship aligned with the orientation it has when you turn the SAS on, or if you pitch, yaw, roll while SAS is on, the orientation when you release the controls. SAS can be activated or deactivated if on, momentarily by holding down the F key, and can be toggled by pressing the T key. If you have problems following the maneuvers, once you enable SNS and lift off, you can click the small red button to the left of the nav ball. Most likely this one. Somewhere left. Should be here. Left of the nav ball that has a miniature target indicator. It's the lower left of all the buttons. Okay. This will cause the SAS to follow the target indicator and fly for you. Note this autopiloting function will not be available until you are flying. Oh boy. This craft has a bit too much engine, so we are going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3. Like there. 2/3. The upper of the two middle notches on the slider. Yes, also turn on SAS. There we go. To help control things. It will keep you pointed when you want to be pointed. Stability assist is on. Normal, radial out target, okay. During this lesson, some of the information is quite detailed and could take a while to read. As this is a short suborbital hop, I don't want you to miss anything important. I will place a warning at the top of pages where you might want to pause the game to read. The warning will be like this. Warning, detailed info. Press escape to pause if necessary. Okay. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls. Yes. Okay. Anytime you may press escape to pause the game. In the pause menu you can restart the flight or end this tutorial. I've enabled the target marker on the nav ball. Give it a look to make sure you see it. Yes. Here. Double check your throttle is set to 3/3. There you go. And SAS is enabled. Yes. Then hit space when you're ready to launch. Remember, start turning at 50 meters per second. What could possibly go wrong? Steady on 70. Somehow I think I'm on 90. Should be able to let it steady now while we accelerate further. Go ahead and throttle to full power. Press escape. Okay, and revert flight. Yeah, we were going straight into the ocean. What do you mean an exploding? Hey! Have a little bit more confidence. Okay, tilt to 80 degrees. After burnout, coast. After burnout, coast up into space. Have a look around. Prepare for re-entry. Last radiate. Okay. 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 Wait. There. Okay. Wait. This means aerodynamic forces act to keep pushing you further away from the result. Secure vector rather than acting. Keep you aligned. To fix this, you have to align with the velocity vector. Again, if you can, and then burn straight up. You probably won't make it high enough, however, so you just restart the lesson. Okay. Revert launch. Did I mention? Yeah, 90 degrees. Okay, done. Tilt east to 80 degrees on the nav ball by 150. Tilt east to 70 on the nav ball by 400. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to... Right. I was going too far already. That was my bad. I absolutely did not comply with what was going on here. There we go. Okay. Yes. Done. Space. Alright. So. Here we are. Going where we need to go. Alright. Get ready to turn further at 250. I'm sorry. Excellent. We've got the rocket just where it needs to be in order to reach space. We should be able to let SAS keep the craft steady for a while as we accelerate further. Now go ahead and throttle up to full power. We're really cooking along now. As we get up these highest warning. Detailed info. Okay. Whew! Made it so far. Finally. Woohoo! You've succeeded in getting your ship on a trajectory bound for space. I've now set your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. That will minimize drag by turning the smallest side of the vehicle into the airflow. Somewhere around here you will see the navball speed indicator auto switch from surface to orbit, accompanied by the speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch back to surface mode by clicking on it until it says surface again. But no explosions on failure. Boring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You might have noticed some flickering flames near the end of your burn there, which is due to high speed of your craft in the atmosphere. Normally your ascent would be a little slower, but I'm sure my friend Werner has helped you build a ship that can withstand this heat. And besides this high and this slow, you'll be fine. If you want to have a look at your trajectory, you can switch to the map M key and have a look at your projected path. Just remember to come back to flight mode again. Next. Now that we are coasting our way to Apoapsis, that's the highest point on our current projected path, we've got a little time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over what you can do in space. Okay. We are going here now. There. There. Okay. Wait, we need to be here. What's happening? Okay. Oh boy. Orbit? No, we want to surface. Yes. While we float up here beyond the atmosphere, I quickly tell you about a couple of things you can do. With an advanced enough astronaut complex in the KSC, we can train our Kerbals to be able to spacewalk or EVA, although we won't be doing that in this flight, thank you. Also, when we are carrying science devices like our goo containers, we can perform experiments. Feel free to play with the goo canisters now by right-clicking on them. I'll let you know when it's time for the next phase of this suborbital flight. Observe. Mystery goo observation while in space near Kerbal. The goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. Uh-huh. Warning. We're stopping. Okay, warning. As we near the edge of the atmosphere again, it's time to reorient the pod and get ready for re-entry. We are only going to re-enter with the pod and shoot in goo canisters. But we are not going to decouple yet. In real missions, it's best to keep your upper stage around until the last moment. You never know when you might need it. Anyway, it's best to re-enter bottom first. And since we ascend at about 70 degrees pitch, we'll naturally re-enter at about minus 70 degree pitch. That means you want to aim the top of the capsule at the 70 degree pitch line. But the opposite heading. This is at a heading of 270 on the nav ball and 70 degree pitch. And I've placed the target marker there to help you see where this lies. Turn SAS off, change your altitude, and then turn it back on again. Oh. Oh, wait. Turn that off. There. There. Okay, 70. We see that here. 70. And turn it back on now. And there is the 270 where we need to be. Nice. Now hold steady on your new altitude, let SAS do its job, and get ready to decouple the stages and start re-entry. Okay. Alright, so far so good. Jebediah here is having a good time. Now it's time to get rid of that booster, since it's just weighing us down. Stage to discard the unneeded parts and mass. Oh, 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 oh. Hey, hello. Hello. You are now re-entering Kerbal atmosphere. Make sure to keep all hands and feet inside the pod at all times. We don't want you getting burned or anything. Don't mind the flames. Werner is a world-famous rocket scientist, after all, and he's built this ship to withstand them. Last time we watched the parachute icon to wait for the right time to open the chute. This time we are going to do something a little different. Remember in this construction tutorial where you designed this vessel, you set the chute not to semi-deploy until 0.75 atmosphere of pressure? Yes, we did that. Nobody saw that, Mr. War Eagle. Nobody saw that. That means the chute won't perform the first of its 2 deployment steps until then, even if you activate it by staging now. On Kerbal, 0.75 atmosphere means about 2,000 meters altitude above sea level. And the craft should be traveling slowly enough by then that the chute will survive deployment. So let's take the bold step of aiming the chute now and let the smarts in there pop it at the right altitude. What? You know you can trust me. Stage the chute now by pressing space. Okay. I did. Awesome. So while we set your chute to not actually semi-deploy around 2 kilometers, we do look out for you at this mission control. We do need to ensure that the opening height at second is correct. You can even adjust these parameters during flight, so right-click on the parachute now and check their sliders. There. Don't touch the pressure slider or bad things will happen, and make sure that the full deploy altitude is no less than 1,000 meters. Okay. Or you will not have enough time to slow down. Once you're satisfied, just hang on until about 2 kilometers and watch the parachute trigger itself according to the settings we've chosen. Okay. While we are waiting, I want you to look at the bottom of the capsule. Note that you do not have a heat shield. You don't need one because this is such a gentle flight. Actually, a heat shield would make things more dangerous on this craft because the additional mass would be pushing the limits of this model's parachute. Okay. Are we still having the full throttle here? I didn't see anything to slow down. Okay. Bumpy. Getting a little bit bumpy here. Jebediah seems alright. The setting is on... Right, I don't have engines, so it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. I forgot about that. Thank you. Okay. Want to do this a little bit. I forgot about that we... right. I forgot about that we are... that we dumped our engines. Yay! Look at that! We made it! No explosion! This time. Okay, Jebediah is going down into the ocean. Well, I'm sorry. But we can recover you, right? And now we dunk Jebediah to the ground of the ocean. No. I hope not. That might not be nice. Okay. Still descending. Still descending. Welcome back and congratulations on completing and even surviving your first real mission. You've managed to launch, control your vessel into space, orient yourself correctly, and land safely. Well, no help from SAS on that one. If you want to practice this again, choose revert to launch from the pause menu, otherwise end the scenario. And be sure to check out the other tutorials. My next one is about going for orbit. And it's really exciting. There's always lots more you can learn at the KSC. Okay, done. Huh. Recover vessel, so we get Jebediah back here. Huh. So this is how it looks inside a rocket, huh? Did you know that? I didn't. Interesting. Alright. Yep, we have some stuff to do. Advanced construction. This tutorial, presented by famous rocket scientist Werner von Kerman himself, covers how to design a craft that can orbit Kerbal and return safely. Alright. Start. Just a quick second. There we go. Now it's better. Alright. Welcome to the third and final tutorial about construction. Oh, holy hell. I've had to delay some important work today to fit this in, so pay close attention as I show you how a real rocket scientist makes orbital craft. Go on, go inside the VAB. I can do that. In our last tutorial we built a vessel that could escape the atmosphere, but it didn't have enough oomph to escape for long. This time around we'll cover more advanced rocket design concepts like multiple stages and boosters, as well as the extra parts like RCS and solar panels. You'll want these if you spend more than a few minutes in orbit. When we're done, you'll have a craft capable of ascent to orbit, orbital operations and safe return to Kerbal. And you can test it out on the Go for Orbital tutorial, which will teach you how to make use of it all. Okay. You'll notice that there are a lot more parts available this time. That's because an orbit-capable craft is much more complex than the little puddle jumper I showed you to make last time. However, the main principles are the same, so I hope you remember what I taught you. If you mess up, say somehow manage to delete your whole craft, you can hit Ctrl+C to undo the last change. Again, you only have one part available, so go ahead and select it. If you select the wrong part, click on it in the main menu and pick it up, or either drop it back into the parts, or press delete. Okay. One pot. Perfect. Next. Just like last time, select the parachute and place it. What? Where was it? Parachute. Going to place it there. Next. And again, like last time, adjust the parachute parameters by right-clicking on the part you just placed. When the chute's pressure is 0.05, that's okay. Click next. Alright. We've done that. We are now going to construct an upper stage. This upper stage will finish placing the pot in the orbit, and once there, provide RCS, steering thrusters and electricity for the pot. It will also provide all maneuvering capability on orbit, including the re-entry mode. It's going to consist of a decoupler, we don't want to carry it home, an RCS fuel tank and a liquid fuel tank, 4 RCS thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries and an efficient upper stage engine. That's quite the shopping list, isn't it? So let me know when you're ready to proceed. Okay, just a second. Alright. We don't want to... So, we are having... Wait, this upper stage will be finished placing the pod in orbit, and once there, blah blah blah, process and also... Firstly, we will add a stacked decoupler below the pod to let us discard the parts we don't want to bring back with us. Grab a decoupler from the toolbox and attach it to the bottom of the pod. You can look out of the window. Yay! Okay, decoupler. Next we'll add an RCS tank. RCS stands for Reaction Control System, and this fuel will help us with the final maneuvers. Go to the tanks and add FLR120 RCS fuel tank. Fuel tanks, FLR120 RCS. Okay. Adding it there. Good. Your craft is not going to need all the monopropellant in the tank. So to save some weight, right click to get it to the part options and move the slider down to 96 units. There we go. Monopropellant is called that because while large rocket engines use two propellant, fuel and oxidizer, RCS uses single propellant. RCS is generally less efficient, but is good for small velocity changes in any direction rather than just forwards like the main engines do, and can be used to rotate the craft as well as move it. We'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks in this stage to get to the right amount for the upper stage's engine, and we need an extra tank to offset the weight of the RCS. Okay, we add tiny propellant tanks. The one is named FLT100. That one. Adding that. Nice. And then add a medium one, FLT400. Okay. There. Done. It's like Legos. Lastly, for the main parts of this upper stage, we'll add an engine. The Terrier engine produces almost no thrust at sea level air pressure, but is highly efficient in space, above 20 kilometers, where the atmosphere is thin enough to not interfere with the exhaust. This makes it a good choice for an upper stage, since the engine will not be activated until the rocket has reached the conditions where this kind of engine works well. If you select the wrong engine, you can always throw it back, and so on and so forth. Okay, engine. We need the LV909. Good thing there's only one. Bottom of the tank. Like that. Look at that. Looking halfway rocketish. Hi, Simon. Yeah, our first pilot, Valentina, unfortunately exploded 3 times before we got it right. Our second one, Jebediah, however, didn't die once. So I think we're on a good track. Maybe. Oh, I've played Oxygen Not Included. I like that game. It's a fun one. But I always mess up at the stage where I have to basically live with the I forgot the name. Too many things happening. The bad gas. least Valentina dug her own grave. I'm not so sure that she dug her own grave. It would be more like we helped her explode into her own grave. I've never gotten into space with oxygen not included. I never got that far. Well, at some point I should be. There's a lot of bad gas. Yes, I know. I know. But it's still a fun one, so at some point I'm fairly certain that I will play it. She drilled her own grave. That's a nice one. I like that one. Okay. So, nicely done. That's a pretty well assembled upper stage, if I do say so myself. I'll get you to orbit if you put enough rocket under it. While we have this reasonably simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools we have available. To make sure that your ship flies controllably, some parts need to be placed carefully around a point inside the ship called the center of mass. This COM is a spot where the mass on one side is balanced by the mass on the other side. Thrust applied through the COM will cause the ship to move without unwanted rotation, while thrust properly applied around the COM will cause the ship to rotate without moving. Thrust applied through the COM will cause the ship to move without unwanted rotation, while thrust applied around them. Aha, through and around, okay. This makes the COM such a useful and important thing that we added a tool so the assembly building can show it to you with a marker. Let's have a look at how that indicator works here. Click on the COM indicator toggle, there, and we'll have a play. Here's a picture of it with the indicator highlighted. Aha, here. Okay. Okay, let's adjust the fuel levels in some of the tanks and see how that affects the center of mass. Right-click on each of the fuel tanks and drag the fuel and oxidizer propellant levels down to 0. Don't touch the mono-propellant levels, as they won't be burned by the Terrier engine. As you are doing this, you will see the COM move. During flight, the vessel COM will move in the same way as it burns the fuel until the tanks are empty. Okay. Huh? On each of the fuel tanks. Yes. And drag the fuel and oxidizer propellant levels down to 0. Aha! Do not touch the monopropellant levels. No, stay there. Okay, we do not touch them. Gotcha. We are just doing this. To 0. Okay. Okay, now go ahead and refill the tanks and we can proceed to add some of the accessories to our upper stage. They'll transform it from merely something that gets us into orbit into something that helps us once we're there. So, putting it back where it was. Okay. And that as well. Stay there. Okay, we shouldn't touch that. That is full. That is full. Okay, gotcha. No touching, just looking. Yes, exactly. Indeed, I can't wait for Darkest Dungeon 2 on Steam. Dark. It's not yet on Steam. I didn't know that. Okay, now that you know where the COM is when the stage is full and when it's empty, up here, You have the information you need to place RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters are found in the command and control category. There. Moving the spaceship without rotating it is called translation. This is a useful kind of maneuver for several reasons, including docking to another craft. In order for translation with RCS to avoid unwanted rotation, you need to balance the thrusters around the COM. So the net sum of forces is balanced right in this natural pivot point. For two equal sets of thrusters, each set should be distant from the COM for a single set. What we're doing here, they should be right around the center of mass itself. What makes this complicated? Now we're getting to the complicated part. What makes this complicated is that the COM changes during flight, as you just saw, so you need to place the thrusters at a compromise point between the wet COM and the dry COM. Note that in career mode games, the RCS thrusters don't become available until fairly late. In the meantime, the reaction wheel capability built onto your command pod will probably be enough for turning in space, though reaction wheels will not allow you to translate. Holy hell! I need a degree for that. Okay, so this is the COM, the center of mass when the tanks are when the fuel tanks are full, and it was up here when it is late. So when he said each set should be equidistant, and for a single set they should be right around the comet itself. So I would say somewhere in the middle. How goes the rocket building? The second pilot didn't explode, and we had to restart several times before I understood what's going on, but he didn't explode, he didn't die, and we made it back to Kerbal safely. Yes, learning. Okay. I don't hear anything. My earplugs gave out. Just a second. Trying to switch to headset here. Okay, I can hear again. Perfect. RCS is like trying to push the rocket around the COM. Okay. Alright. Thank you. And welcome. Welcome, Kirk. Alright. Let's turn on angle snap to make aligning the thruster parts easier. Do that by clicking on the toggle snap icon on the lower left or pressing the C key. This one. And ensure we have 4 times symmetry turned on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The tiny rocket propellant tank is about the right place to attach these, just in case you need a hint. That is this one. There. If you don't get the placement quite right, you can also use the offset gizmo to fine-tune their position. Make sure you turn on angle snap. We have. Before using the offset. You will want fine adjustments for that, and with snap turned on, the adjustments are anything but fine. Click the offset mode icon in the upper left of the main editor window. click the offset mode icon in the upper left of the main editor window. Huh. Just to the right of the parts list. Center of mass is the point at which the craft turns around. Building rockets is the plan that leads to explosions. Exploration. Yes, explorinating. And yes, even experienced builders mess up a lot. That is good to know. I still need a degree in everything to understand what's going on here. But I am not giving up. We are going to do this. We are going to build this, and it will be glorious. Yes. Okay. So we have this set to 4. This is on. We need 4 of these to place them. The tiny rocket propellant tank is about the right place to attach these. This is here then. If you don't get the placement quite right, you can also use the offset gizmo to fine-tune their position. If you make sure you turn on angle snap, we have that turned on, before using the offset. You will want to fine adjust for that. What I don't understand, and I might be just a little bit stupid for that, is click the offset mode icon in the upper left of the main editor window, just to the right of the part list. Am I just stupid right now and not see that? Build, action, crew, cargo, switch editor. There's 4 buttons there. Yes. Four gray icons. Yes, these ones. Offset mode icon. Select and attach part to offset. What? And just a fair warning, I've never done the tutorials. Okay, fair enough. The small tank is the one with the 2 bands of black. Oh, this one! Oh! Here. Placing them there now. Okay. Part to offset. Drag one of the axis indicator to move it. Set adjustment. When done, go to the place mode. Okay. So... That's stupid. Thank you. This game does have a learning curve from what I've heard. Yeah, it sure does. Okay, apparently this was not the right thing because I can't do anything else. Oh, hit space when done. Okay. I hit space and nothing happens. Maybe there? No, it should be higher up because the center of mass is now here, and when it's empty it's up here, and he said that it might be good to not have it on either side, but more middle-ish. Drag one of the axes to move it. If you want to reset it, hit space. When done, go back to place mode. I did that. Turn the comm indicator off. Okay, done. What could possibly go wrong? Alright, lots of things on a craft use electric charge. That's what us cool scientists call rocket electricity. Well, I'm apparently not one of the cool scientists, but nevertheless. In order to keep your batteries topped up, you will need a way of generating power. Now, some engines generate electricity while they are running, but you don't want to keep your engine running in orbit. Your orbit will get all kinds of messed up, and you run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it. This one. This is good. But to be safe, you can add more batteries, and you can add solar panels on other electricity generating items. We are going to do both. Alright. Switch to the electrical category now. And ensure we have angle snap turned on, and there are still 4x symmetry mode. 4x symmetry mode. Angle snap is turned on. Now we're going to the... my mouse just went away. And now we are going to the electrical category. There. Grab the OX stat solar panel, hold it over the lower end of the fuel tanks and press A to rotate it 90 degrees. Then click to place a set of them. This is a fuel tank. The lower end of the fuel tanks. Like here? The lower end of the fuel, or down here. This will be the last thing to go, the first thing to go away, right? otherwise, what I think they are talking about is the great circle with the green dot. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. 4 times symmetry is the circle. Yes. I have that. For some reason Twitch decided I love the picture. I was not getting updated streams. Sorry for comments. All good. You're good. Don't you worry. Twitch does things. All the time. Okay. So. I'm going to place them here. This might be completely wrong, but he just said places onto the fuel tanks. And this is one of the fuel tanks. So, there you go. Now go ahead and place a set of 4 Z100 batteries between the solar panels. Strangely enough, you still got audio. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I said, Twitch is twitching. As always. We use our part rotation skill to adjust the panels before placing them. Oh. Does he mean here? But that doesn't make really sense. It does. He wants them down there. Well, why doesn't he say so then? Okay. Next. Excellent work, thank you. You've built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. Now we need to work on getting it up to orbit, and for that we'll build up our lower stage. Oh, I was stupid. Okay, this is just the first part, and now we are going to the actual getting us into space part. Oh. Okay. Because like some bosses, he expects you to be a mind reader. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. I might add a little weight, but should be enough to affect anything. Okay. Oh boy. Right. So this looks almost good. Add another TD12 stack decoupler on the bottom of the Terrier. Decoupling. There. Okay. Going to put it there. Yeah, typos are very welcome here. Do not worry at all. But I thought that you might not to affect anything. Okay, the decoupler is there. Now we need to add the fuel tanks for our lower stage. Add 2 of the medium rocket propellant tanks. The FLT-400 fuel tanks. 2 of them on the bottom stack. Okay, 1. And I forgot how to do it, so I will do it like that. Okay. And they are fully fueled, which is nice. Okay. Next. For our lower stage, we need an engine that is a sustainer. That's an engine that burns from liftoff until we are well after the boosters separate. Let's get scientifical for a second. Now we are getting scientifical. Isn't that fun? Great. Rocket engine performance is measured by specific impulse or ISP. Okay, and the ISP of an engine changes as the amount of atmospheric pressure around it changes. Just as the upper stage needed an engine that it is good at the low air pressure of high altitudes, the lower stage will need boosters which are powerful at the higher air pressures of the low altitude of the launch pad. Okay, so that practically makes sense. We need something to push us up and then something that keeps us going. Okay, understood. And to help carry the rocket through the transition from launch to upper stage, it will need a sustainer engine, which usually sits between boosters and upper stage engines from a performance perspective, having a wider range in between the two. So, at the big engine you see there, the LVT-45 swivel engines. This one. As our sustainer. I like that the stages go up automatically. That is very helpful. Otherwise, oh lord. At its default thrust level, the swivel is too powerful for the rocket we are creating and for the ascent profile we are going to teach you in the Go for Orbit tutorial. So you'll need to lower its thrust level. This isn't as good a solution as picking a smaller, lighter engine with the thrust level we want, but, well, there are only so many options. Right-click on the swivel and lower its thrust limiter to 65. There. Okay. Of its full thrust potential, but it will also run longer because it's only burning 65% of the fuel. Alright. Nice. Now you have the core of your rocket completed, but as I said before, we'll also be adding boosters to help the sustainer engine get the rocket up and running. We will add 2 boosters symmetrically, so that we keep our craft balanced and to make sure we don't lug the useless dry mass of the boosters around after they burn out. We'll attach them using decouplers. This time, however, we'll use the radial decouplers so the boosters can sit beside our lower stage core instead of under it. That way the sustainer and boosters can fire at the same time. Select the TT38K radial decoupler. Coupling. This one, and add it in 2x symmetry near the bottom of the lowest tank on the lower stage. Symmetry mode 2, there you go. Near the lowest bottom, near the bottom of the lowest tank on the lower stage. Where is this? So that should be here then. Okay. Next. More boosters is something you often hear around the KSC, and now it's time to add some. Add a pair of RT10 Hammer SRBs to the decouplers so we have an extra kick early on. More boosters. Engines, thank you. RT Hammer. Oh, that was the first one that we used. Gotcha. Thank you. To the decouplers. That's the decoupler. What? How do I do that? Like here? Interesting. Get away. Go away. Go away. Symmetry mode. Okay. There. Add a pair of RT hammer to the decouplers. Okay. I would very much like to add them to the decouplers, but they are not going there. I thought maybe they meant to these decouplers, you know? But apparently... Yes. Learning. Okay. Unlike liquid fuel engines, where you can adjust the throttle during flight, once you light an SRB, it burns at constant thrust till it's out of fuel. We can, however, use the throttle limiter, as we did on the swivel, to set that constant thrust before we roll out of the launch pad. Right-click one of the SRBs and change its thrust limiter to 50. Okay, let's go in simultaneously. Do note that changing a tweakable value on one part spacing symmetry will have the same change. Okay, remember when I said I teach you how to make that pot and dump graph from the construction? Survivable, well, this thrust adjusting. That's what? This thrust adjusting is how that could be done. Although, you'd also have to put the decoupler on. Right. Now, the SRBs have flat pancake tops, yes. Which is simply not a good look. Oh, and bad aerodynamically. That I even understand without anything else. Let's fix that by adding a pair of nose cones. Aerodynamics. There. Nose cone. You can add a pair to them by using 2 times symmetry. There we go. That's that. Boom. Done. While we're on that tab in the toolbox, let's add some fins too. Fins come in various sizes and styles, and as we learned earlier, will help stabilize your craft. Since these fins are control surfaces, they are also add some extra control authority when low in atmosphere, where the air is thick enough for them to have a helpful effect. At the... well, we are doing this 4 times. There. At the AVR8 winglets, near the bottom of the lowest fuel tank, in the lowest stage, and make sure they don't intersect the decouplers and SRBs. If they do overlap those parts, any flight will be interesting but exceptionally short. 4. Can I move this? Yes. Alright. It's not half bad, it should be fine. I hope. Excellent. Okay. We've now got all the components on our basic orbital rocket. Basic. It's switching to 2x symmetry because it tries to add them to the boosters. Ah, alright. Understood. Firstly, we've got now all the components in our basic orbital rocket, but let's run through a few extra things before we call it a day. Firstly, we should review the staging stack to check the order of actions and parts displayed there. It's lucky I've highlighted this for you because the SRBs are set to fire before the sustainer, and that just won't do. You won't have enough thrust to get off the pad that way. Move the swivel staging icon down into the same stage as the SRB. That's the swivel. Move the swivel staging down into the same stage as the SRBs. That would be here. Note that the automatically created staging sequence would work if we do not want the long burning sustainer to ignite at the same time as the high thrust boosters, but since we do, we had to adjust it manually. Okay. Can I pair them again? Rocket science, might it be possible to tune the music down enough? Sure. Let's save. Oh wait, we need to. Okay, let's save that. What? No. Go away. What's happening here? Wait. Too many buttons. There we go. Jesus. When I click away, they will pair again. I did click away, but nothing really happens here. All hell breaks loose, and just because of some music. Okay, relax. I will turn the music down very soon. There we go, now they are paired again. Okay. But we don't want them to be paired. Okay, we put this here. What is it that you don't like now? Move the swivel staging icon down to the same as the SRBs. Yes, that's what we are having. Oh no, those are the SRBs, right? There you go. Yes. Yep, I will build this to the end and then I'm going to lower the music. Finally. I'm sorry, don't get impatient with me. pick up the pod and rotate it 90 degrees around the vertical axis. This will rotate the ship, not just the VAB, but also sets its orientation where we go to the launch pad, so that your desired flight heading to the east will be a matter of steering on the pitch up and down. Where can I see where I am now? By default, parts in the VAB are oriented so they align north. Okay. Check your stage. As a note of this game, by the way, it's caused the most of failures and much confusion. Yeah. I believe that in a second. Oh boy. Are there any indicators as to where I am facing with this thing then? We always make every effort to ensure our brave crews survive. Thank you. And hopefully you will take the same stance in your space program. It doesn't always work out that way, of course, but it's the thought that counts, at least of those of us not in the rocket at the time. The window at the capsule. Okay, so the window and this one. So when I'm looking at the window, it's the way that he wants us to place it, okay? Right? With that in mind, let's set up an abort action group for your craft for use in case of emergency. Note that in career mode you'll have to upgrade the VIP or SPH in order to access the actions group. Click on the turquoise action groups button in the left corner of the toolbar. It's part of a cluster of 3 buttons. Action groups let you assign the functions of one or more parts to a single specific key. There are some default action groups: landing gear automatically, go in the gear group, brakes on wheels, go in the brake group, etc. And some custom ones activated by the keyboard, not keypad, numbers. Because of the order of these keys on standard boards, the action groups are numbered 1 through 9 and then 0. Right. To set up an action group, click on the desired action key from the menu. The actions already assigned to that group appear in the Group Actions column. To add and remove items, you can simply click on them and move them left or right between the columns. To clear all action group selections from a part, click Reset in the selection column. We are going to set up the abort action group. It's triggered by pressing backspace or by clicking the big red abort button in flight. It slides out from the left of the altitude panel at the top of the screen when the mouse over there. First click on the abort button. There. Clicked on it. Got it. Next. Great. Now click on the decoupler right below the pod. That one. And it adds decouple in the action group. Then click on each liquid engine in turn and assign their shutdown functions to the group. What? Then click on each liquid engine and assign their shutdown functions to the group. Okay, wait. When I click reset, does everything go away? Decouple. Decouple. Fuel tank. And assign their shutdown function. They don't have a shutdown function. Disable. 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 That's fine. So finally click on one of the radial decouplers and add decouple to the group. Okay. Since these were placed with symmetry, applying the action to one radial decoupler. Now, when you trigger the abort action in flight, the engines will shut down, or if they can't shut down, be decoupled. The capsule will be separated from the rest of the ship, and it should be safe to land by himself. Remember to deploy your parachute once it's safe. However, this may require staging a number of times, since the stage counter won't advance by itself when the parts decouple before they are staged. Going to reset all this and do it again, because something didn't feel right here. Alright, we had abort. We have this decoupler, and we say decouple. Then we are clicking on each engine and assign their shutdown function. But they don't have a shutdown function. They disable same vessel interactions. I suppose that is the shutdown. Disable. Oh, There we go. And there we are. Your orbital rocket is ready to fly. It's been a long lesson, yes it has, and thanks for hanging in there, in which we've covered lots of different advanced techniques for rocket construction. Give the new ship a name and save it. That's always a good practice. Then I recommend you try flying in the Go for Orbit tutorial. This is still... Shouldn't that be here? We had it here. Yeah. It was supposed to be at the lowest. Alright, so we're saving it there. Okay. Got everything here. Oi. Oh, no, wait. Back. I almost forgot. Settings. Audio. Master. Excellent. Okay. Let me know if this is better with the music. And you know, before we are going to go for orbit, I'm going on a short break. I need something else to drink because I drank everything that I have in here already. And I will be right back, and after that we are going into space, into orbit. Should be fun. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Ooh, hey. Perfect. Oh, and thank you for the follow. Man, it's much appreciated, thank you. Alright. Now what could... Thank you, Mr. War Eagle. Is the music better now? Currently, yes. Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's see how it is once we're hitting this one. I turned it down to half, so should be alright, maybe. Today, we will tackle an absolutely essential skill for any space program, getting to orbit. That actually makes sense. Without this skill, we might as well be teaching you Kerbal Flight Simulator. Okay. I trust you've already checked the other flight tutorials as well as Advanced Construction 1 to be familiar with the Kerbal 1 vessel we will be launching today. If not, I highly recommend you do so before going through this one. Valentina is back. Look at that. She didn't get enough of exploding 3 times already. Alrighty then, let's do it. As I said before, the plan here is to get our vessel and pilot safely into orbit. As with the suborbital flight we did previously, we will follow a curved path to get to the point where we can circularize our orbit. Today's gravity turn, however, will be much shallower than the path we followed previously, so that we build speed towards orbit. More exploding! Yay! Woohoo! This is different from how the Kerbal pilots of old did it. They would head straight up and then hang a right as if the air was a soup or something. We'll be turning early and smoothly, but don't turn too far or you might be mistaken for one of those low-flying turkeys. I like turkey. As with the previous flight, I will place a target marker on the nav ball to show you the optimal velocity vector. But do note that this indicator won't be around normally, and it's not usually used by the way this tutorial uses it. I also display some technical information about your path as you go to help you learn the right way to get there. For now, to set your throttle to the max and prepare for launch. I get the feeling that we are not the right way. I think I messed that one up already. You should now see the marker on the nav ball, so you'll have something to follow. And this ship has been designed so that you don't need to worry about throttle control during the ascent. Hit space when you are ready to go to orbit. If you want Valentina, the Kerbal pilot, to fly the curve for you, then you can enable SAS and set the mode to target after liftoff. Okay, Valentina is back. Yeah, she has some strange masochistic thoughts and abilities. What's the word I'm looking for? Tendencies. That's the word. Okay. Start pitching down once you reach 6. Pitching down. Oops. Pitch too much. Pitch too much. There we go. Ooh, We are almost out of fuel on the SRBs, so get ready to eject them by staging. Done. You're doing great! Keep following the target indicator and get ready to stage again. What? And get ready to stage again to discard the lower stage. No. The desires. Masochistic desires. Alright. Stage again. Okay, excellent. Excellent, you survived through the first phase of the launch. And now we have a longer, more gentle burn to accelerate towards apoapsis. If you switch to map mode, press M, we can have a look at the trajectory of the rocket and watch the apoapsis rise as we gain speed. Great, now you can keep an eye out on that trajectory. There. While we track our future path. If you hover over the apoapsis AP node on the map, you will be able to see the estimated highest altitude on your path. You can right-click on that marker and pin it so that it remains visible when you move your mouse away. There. We need to keep burning along that path until we are clear the atmosphere by a handy margin. We'll aim for 80 kilometers. Okay, cut the engine, press X. When the apoapsis hits 80 kilometers. And then the rest of the text is gone. And that's going to get us there. I've made sure the engine is shut off now and will coast till we're clear in the atmosphere with 70 kilometer altitude. You may notice that your speed is dropping a little as we coast. That's nothing to be concerned about. It's just gravity trying to bring us down and air trying to prevent our success. We'll beat it though. You're looking good. Meanwhile, I'll keep an altitude display open so you can track your progress ascending to your apoapsis. What am I? Okay. T minus 2 minutes and 44. Oh boy. Flawless ascent. Yeah, I'm... Apparently we're doing great. Yes. Now that we are clear of the atmosphere, we can warp ahead through time to get to the AP more quickly. Important rocket scientists like us do not have time to waste. Press next when you're ready, and we'll warp till it's time to make our next burn. I'm a natural astronaut, yes. We're almost there. Now all we need to do is accelerate some more so that we can I can't read anymore. Now all we need to do is accelerate some more so that we fall past Kerbal. That's basically what an orbit is, falling and missing. Gravity will be pulling us towards the center of Kerbal, but we'll be traveling so fast that we consistently miss. Rotate your craft to align it with the prograde marker. We'll learn more about that later. Or use SAS as maneuver mode when it's time to throttle up, I tell you. What am I doing? Where am I? Warp to next maneuver? Add maneuver? Rotate your craft to align. Okay, we are going here, right? Okay, nice. I have aligned the ship. Now throttle up. I'll cut your engines once you've completed the burn I've calculated for you, or you can yourself once you're in stable orbit. Congratulations, you are now officially in orbit. That's quite the achievement. Hopefully you can see the difference between the suborbital hop and this reaching orbit ascent, and just how far and early we turned. Also noticed how we designed our rocket to accelerate reasonably through the ascent and didn't go straight to ludicrous speed. Overpowering the ship is a common rookie mistake. Okay. We don't want to do that. No, no. Okay. That's as far as I will be taking you today. We can catch up again in Orbit 101 tutorial where I show you about orbits and adjusting them. If you want to fly solo for a bit, you can also try by bringing Valentina home from this tutorial flight. You will need to turn around 180 degrees and burn retrograde until your periapsis is less than 20 kilometers, at which height the atmosphere will do most of the braking for you. Stage away the upper stage when you hit the atmosphere's edge, orient retrograde, and re-enter like I taught you in the flight's basic tutorial. When in doubt, add more boosters. Yeah. Okay, so you will need to turn around 180 degrees. Meaning I'm going practically here. Like there. And burn retrograde until your periapsis is less than 20 kilometers. My what? Okay, that is the AP, so the KP is then here. Right? That should be here then. This one. other side of the circle, so inside Kerbal. And inside is less than 60,000. Okay, where are we? There. Now, you see the line through AP. This line, that's the orbit if it's a circlish thing going from. Yeah, that line. Okay. All right. All right. Theoretically. Oop. No. No. There. And there. And there. Okay. So, theoretically, bear with me here. That's an interesting thing. Theoretically, we can get rid of this one, right? Of the engine. Oop. All right. Hi, Valentina. I hope you're still okay. Oops. we are still here. Some lights would be nice on that thing, right? Okay. Doing good, Valentina. Doing good. Proud of you, girl. Doing great. Mm-hmm. Doing real great. You're not going to explode this time. I hope. Ugh. There you go. Alright, and now we just wait until we are a little bit lower, and then we stage the parachute. And that should bring our girl here home safely, right? Oh. What happened? What happened? Shit. Why? There's a mountain. The fuel tank crashed into terrain. Awesome. The height on the top is still... You hit a mountain. So... We should have... Well then. Oops. Valentina is back on Kerbal. Exactly. Well, we did make it into space. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Hey, and Valentina is back. Isn't that nice? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So the base understanding is there. Awesome. All right. Can you learn the art of hitting the ground? Well, I think I'm going to master in that one. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is fun. I'm definitely going to play this next Saturday again. You can believe me. This is a fun one. Okay. We're going to do this. Orbiting 101. And after that, I fear that I have to go. But let's see how long this takes and how far we go. So you passed the rocket science degree and are now employed rocket scientist, now having your first project before you. Sure. I'm fairly certain that that's all it takes, and all the astronauts, not the astronauts, all the rocket science engineers just go through a tutorial like this and then they are masters. Yep. Okay, so this training scenario covers the basics of flying a spacecraft in orbit. Essential maneuvers like raising and lowering up AP and P. Is it PP? Yeah, it is. Alright. And lowering the notes, and also important concepts such as what the terms apoapsis and periapsis mean. AP and PE. That makes more sense. I'll start off in a low... you'll start off in a low circular orbit around Kerbal with the Orbiter 1 training craft ready to go. Okay, we don't build a craft, we have a craft already. Oh, look at this! Jebediah is back. And Bill and Bob. They are twins. Engineer and scientist, and he's the pilot. Boy, they really put a lot of faith in me. Alright. Welcome to the Orbiting 101 training program. Hey, Dania! Hi! Welcome! Good to see you. Happy weekend. I'm Valentina Kerman. I know who you are. Remember? You helped us crash into the Earth. No, not into the Earth. Into Kerbal several times now. And I'm going to teach you the basics of orbiting. I assume you've already done basic flight tutorials. Yes, mastered them, of course. Nothing ever happened. Orbiting is really nothing more than free falling. Boy, did we learn that the hard way. The only thing is that The only thing is that as you fall, you're moving so fast forward that you actually miss the ground. Because up here there is no atmosphere to slow you down. At this height you will continue to free fall endlessly around the planet without having to use your engines. We are currently on a low, almost circular orbit around Kerbal. To get a better view of your situation, press the M key and go into map view. Now that is nice. Thanks, Daniel, and hi, Frosty Dragon. Hello, hello. Indeed, now we can crash 3 of them at the same time. Not going to have to one by one. That's good. Nice. Lucky we have larger ambitions than 3. Yes, we are going to crash as many Kerbals as possible at some time in this game. Ah, okay. This is the highest and this is the lowest point then. Okay, well, the counterpart then. This is the map view. Here you can see your ship's position and its current trajectory around the planet. Hold right-click and move the mouse to look around and see your orbit from various angles. Ooh, pretty. Pretty. I like that view. Okay, also hovering over the icons on the map will display more information about them, and by right-clicking the node you will pin the info. Close the map when you are ready, and we can proceed. Okay, we have its stages, messages and resources and all of that, action sets. The crew. Take a good look at the crew. They won't be there for much longer. Just returned to Kerbal after doing a little trip in low orbit around the moon. So, you know this one, Frosty. I just started, like, playing it right now. Awesome, perfect. I just started this 3.5 hours ago for the very first time. And up until 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know this game existed. So, thanks to chat, we're now playing it. Alright, so. This looks nice. I like it. That view is perfect. AP and PP, all there. Okay, good to go. And our happy pilots, oh little do they know. I almost feel sorry for them. Yeah, I read about that. You're all playing along. Oh, this is cool. I like that. Good luck. Let's get practical now. I trust you already know your basic spacecraft controls. Up here, they are very much the same, except that the lack of an atmosphere makes the ship behave quite a bit differently. Because there is no drag slowing you down, for every input you apply, you have to apply an opposite one to come to stop again. I'm going to remotely nudge your attitude controls a little. Try to get the ship back under control afterwards. That is not nice, don't do that. If you find yourself totally out of control, hit T to toggle the SAS on, and it will automatically cancel any remaining rotations. Are you ready? As ready as I'm ever going to be. Haha. You didn't think that was possible, huh? Trying to get me here. Not on my watch, mister. We are going to hit that T button as often as possible. Nicely done. Attitude control is an essential skill for spacecraft pilot. Master it and you'll be well on your way to becoming an expert pilot. You can try this again if you want, or you press next if you're ready to move on. Well, hitting the T button is exactly what we can do, right? Right. So, next. Let's have a look at the nav ball now. You've probably seen the symbols on it when you were spinning around. Sure. Yes, seen them all while we were spinning. Prograde and retrograde vectors. They point towards and away from your velocity vector respectively. That is, it points to and away from where you're going. Okay. Radial in and out vectors. They point towards and away from your current orbited body, meaning Kerbal. Normal and anti-normal vectors. They are perpendicular to the orbital plane. They point upwards and downwards with respect to the orbital plane, respectively. Now let's try something a little more involved. Open your map again. I am in the map all the time. Okay. What we want to do now is going through some of the basic maneuvers you'll need to know. Let's try raising your AP first. The AP is the highest point in orbit, and it's indicated by a node marked AP. The best place to raise your AP is at the PE node, which is the lowest point of your orbit. If you hover the mouse over the PE node, there, you'll see that we are going to reach it in a few minutes. Yes, T-41. Once there, we will face prograde and burn. Press period to speed up time a little bit so we can get there faster. Can't press period, but I can do this. Okay, time to do our burn. Turn the ship to face the prograde vector now. Remember that you can just activate stability assist. Click the orbit prograde button next to the nav button. Okay. Whew, Jesus. We are now turned prograde. Check SAS is engaged. Yes. For you to keep her steady, press the Z key to accelerate at full throttle. Notice how the opposite side of your orbit starts to rise as you accelerate. Keep thrusting prograde until your AP altitude reaches about 800,000 meters. Well done. This is how you raise your AP node. Okay. With orbital maneuvers, pretty much everything you do will affect the opposite side of your orbit. So to raise the highest point, AP, you thrust forward, or prograde, at the lowest point. Which similarly, to raise your PE, you thrust prograde at AP. We're on the way to the AP now, so let's just do that. Okay, we're on our way to the AP node now. Notice how your ship loses speed as we rise. That's because we are climbing away from the planet. So we lose speed as we go higher, just like a ball does when thrown into the air back on Kerbal. Okay. The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. Notice how the Mons orbital speed is around 450 meters per second. You can see this by hovering over the Mons marker. There. While yours is far higher. That's because our orbit is much lower than that of the Mon. When we reach AP, we will burn prograde again. Okay, we are here. Hey, you did that by your own. Same as before, turn your ship to face prograde. There you go. So the prograde marker might not be visible at first, but you can find it easily because it's on the opposite side from the retrograde marker. Once you're facing the right direction, fire up that engine and watch the PE rise. Okay, firing up. Keep burning until the orbit is nearly circular. Eccentricity will be 0 when it's perfectly circular, so keep an eye on that. Eccentricity measures how elliptical your orbit means. 0 means the orbit is circular. Nicely done. This is how you change the size of your orbit. This maneuver should come in handy in many situations. Next, we will look into changing your orbital inclination. Huh. Okay. Your orbital inclination is the angle between your orbit and Kerbin's equator. If you've managed to maintain a reasonable amount of control so far, we should still be in a nearly 0-degree inclination orbit. That is, even though we've changed the altitude of our orbit, it still has the same inclination as before. Changing inclination is done by thrusting at a 90-degree angle to your prograde vector, but without changing your pitch relative to the surface. On our present nearly equatorial orbit, prograde is due east. That means to increase our inclination so that our orbit takes us into higher latitudes. We have to burn towards the normal direction. That I just said made your head spin, just a little bit. The nav ball once again comes to your rescue, thank you. In this case you will need to use the normal vector to change your orbital inclination. Let's try that now. Turn the ship to the normal vector's direction and open the throttle. There you go, and opening the throttle. Notice how as you burn north, your orbit starts to tilt. As you can see that there. On one side, but the PE and AP nodes remain mostly the same. That was quite fast. Good, this is how you change your orbital inclination. For these maneuvers, it's always better to do it in the slowest parts of the orbit so you don't have to spend as much delta V to turn your orbit around. That also means inclination changes on larger orbits, such as we are on now, take less fuel than the same inclination change on a lower orbit. Also, keep in mind that changing inclination doesn't necessarily mean accelerating to the north or south. It means accelerating at right angles to your prograde vector, which on our nearly equatorial orbit also happens to be towards the north. Next, let's look into the last essential maneuver you'll need to learn, lowering our orbit. Orbital mechanics are fun. Yeah. You have an interesting idea of fun. My head is like, huh? Say what now? Who am I? And why? As you can imagine, lowering your orbit's altitude is very much like raising it, only in reverse. Even I understood that one, thank you. Because there is no air up here, we can use our main engines to decelerate as well as accelerate. Because the ship's orientation will not cause problems with airflow, and flying backwards is easy as flying forwards. Also, since our orbit is nearly circular, we can just turn retrograde and do our burn at any time now. So let's get to it. Turn toward the retrograde vector. Yes, and start that engine up again. Okay. retrograde and start in the fall. Keep burning retrograde until the PE altitude is around 20,000 meters. Try getting as close as possible this time. If you overshoot, it may go too low. Turn prograde, accelerate a little, and back up for precision. Remember that you can fine-tune your throttle using the left control and so on and so forth. Okay. So, around 20,000. Okay, a little bit more. Alright, getting there. Getting there. Okay, that's it. You are now on your way back. 20,000 meters is low enough to hit the atmosphere, so you are now on a re-entry course to Kerbal. Once we're below 60,000 meters, the atmosphere will start slowing the ship down to the point that it won't have enough velocity to rise back up again. This is all we need to do for this lesson. You could keep playing and either perform more maneuvers or ride this path down to a landing, or you could skip to the next lesson. If you do try for a landing, don't forget to decouple the capsule and deploy parachutes. See you at the ground. Okay. Well, how about we try that? So we are getting rid of all of this. I hope I'm not doing this weird now, but... See you on the ground. Okay. Alright. So this is on now. We are going down. As you can see here, we are going down. Oh. They are so happy for now. Oh boy. You don't know what's going on, huh? And what will happen. I mean, like, really happen. Alright. So theoretically, How long will this take now? If... I'm a little bit of an eclipse now. So... Now this is going to be interesting. How long can they... We're in trouble. How long can they survive in this pot? Since they're going to be there for a while. Okay, there's no time limit. Okay, we are still descending. Somewhat. Got a very steep descent. Yeah, that might... Maybe we are going to lose 3 of them now? Maybe? I'm very sorry for them. It was nice flying with them, though. Okay, let's see what we're doing here. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, I think we're going to crash. I am fairly certain of that. Barbecues inbound. Or not. Well, the parachute is out. So maybe we are not going to kill 3 Kerbals. Maybe. I mean... Maybe. This looks like we're going into water. So that should be fine. And the parachute is there. So... So... I think I'm going to hang that degree above my monitor. The degree in safe landing. Right? Thank you, the Kragan. Thank you. Much appreciated. We are not talking about that my palms are sweaty. Or that my heart rate is a little bit up. But this was all exactly as I intended it to do, of course. I hope they can swim, though. 200 meters. We did it! We did it! And they are safe. Mr. War Eagle, do you see that? They are safe. They are not drowning, hopefully. They are not exploding, yet. They can make it home to their families, and so on and so forth. Awesome! Perfect! Good time to stop for today. Because I need to go. Auto-saving. Saving is always a good thing. We should do this. Alright. So, as you see in the title, this was the very first time that I ever played this game. Up until a few weeks ago, I didn't know this game existed. I got some recommendations for it in chat, and I said, you know what? Why not? I am giving it a go and see what happens. What happens is, even though my head is spinning with all these technical mumbo jumbo, oh, and it's getting daylight. Isn't that lovely? This is a ton of fun, and I'm definitely going to play that again next Saturday. However, I need to go for now. Meaning, thank you everyone who was here today, who saw the ups and downs of me trying to go into space and build a rocket. I will be back live next Tuesday when we are going to accompany Reza all the way in Nagrand in World of Warcraft Classic. We just entered Nagrand and have a lot to do there, a gazillion missions and quests. So that's where we're returning to next week at 5:30 CET. I will post a message on my socials when I go live, meaning on Twitter, in the Discord, and on Hive. If you want to and you want to tag along next week, you can follow me there and see when I go live. If you had fun today and you don't want to miss out, you can hit the follow button if you want to. Up to you. I will upload this video to YouTube after I stopped streaming, so it should be online within a couple of hours if you weren't able to watch from the beginning. So, that being said, once again, thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate it massively. It was absolutely fun. We'll continue this next Saturday, and I hope that I see some of you, or all of you, that would be even better, next Tuesday, 5:30 CET, World of Warcraft Classic. Up until then, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful start of next week. And I see you Tuesday. Bye bye.